Sir, okay, I'm just briefing the today's schedule. Good morning,
Prachi, go ahead.
Ramanan sir.
Yes, Prachi, go ahead.
Good morning, SN Singh sir, and good morning, all panelists. Good morning to all the attendees. Very good morning to one and all. Two words that can change the way we approach our life. Can I or I can? Think and choose the right option and create a difference in your life. With the wave of positivity, I, Prachi Palsotkar, co-chair WIILS, welcome you all for the third and concluding day of IEEE WIILS 20. Today we are coming up with morning session on the theme Engage and Ignite. It will be presented by Vamsi Jadala, co-chair WIILS. Track consists of two keynote speeches by Ramanan Ramanathan, Mission Director, Atal Innovation Mission India, and with Rajeev Kher, Founder, 3S, Shramik and Saraplat Private Limited, India. He is going to deliver his talk on problems or opportunities. Next track is scheduled on the theme Innovation and Entrepreneurship. It will be presented by Ravi Tiwari, co-chair WIILS 20. Our eminent speakers of this track are Vasudev Mishra, founder Salai Gram, a social venture, India. He is going to share with us women entrepreneurship through social entrepreneurship. Women empowerment through social entrepreneurship. The next track is by Jing Dong, WI Beijing, AG, Vice Chair, China. He is going to share his talk on waking up the leaders in engineers, leadership or innovation on the academic technical aspect. The next track is on by Dr. Aliza H. Barney Smith, MGA SAC Chair, Boise, Idaho, USA, with a talk on innovation and leadership. The next talk is on Women in Power by Simay Akar, Vice Chair SAC, MGA, Global Vice Chair of IEEE PES. The next talk will be delivered by Ashish Nawade, CEO, Innovative Environmental Technologies Private Limited, Pune. The next track is on empowerment, and it will be presented by Dr. Amoli, co-chair WIILS 20. The speakers for this track are Sangeeta Yadav, co-founder and director, Fort Flip Ventures Private Limited, India. Lopamudra Raut, engineer, model, actress, fashion industry. Abhin Charmiki, founder and podcast host, Alepod. And Ms. Dipali Trehan, senior director and general manager of Programmable Solutions Group, PSG Marketing and Power Business Unite at Intel, USA. And one more speaker is there, Dr. Aishwarya Bandala, head Translational Core, the Annual Institute for Health, Singapore. One more eminent speaker is there, Mrs. Rekha Borkar, MD, Rasika Stitchworks, Bulthana, Maharashtra. It will be followed by our most awaited valedictory function. Now, I welcome our first track presenter, Vamsi Jadala, to present today's first track, Engage and Inspire. Good morning, Vamsi, and over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Prachi. Very good morning to one and all. I'm Vamsi Krishna Jadala, Shramik here. And we move to our first speaker for the day, Mr. Ramanan Ramanathan, Mission Director, Atal Innovation Mission. When we started this discussion of ILS way back in 2-3 months back, when we were speaking about Engage and Ignite, the very first person who came into our mind was Dr. Ramanan sir, and we were very keen and we have been chasing a lot. And thank you, Dr. Ramanan sir, for accepting our invitation and to be a part of it, part of our summit and joining us. A brief bio. I would not take much of your time. I'll just say 2 to 3 lines because it is my honor to say this because this is the third time we are meeting virtually through different forums. One is through IEEE and one is through my organization, TAI. So Ramanan is a mission director of Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Ayog, and he executed The key focus area is to nationwide innovation and entrepreneurship initiatives, resulting in 10,000 plus Atal tinkering labs that are being established in schools nationwide and 5,100 plus operational in 660 districts and over 2 million students having access to innovative tools. 101 Atal incubation centers, which are established in universities, fostering for the startups, of which are 70 operational, with 150 plus startups, which are like 500 plus are woman-led startups. I mean, we are no less than Silicon Valley, and we are soon going to get there. Thank you, Ramanan sir, for chasing this mission and bringing it live to all of us. I'll hand over the session to you now. Please take over.
Thank you, Vamsi, for your kind words. And it is indeed a pleasure and a privilege, a great privilege for me to be able to address the IEEE Women in Engineering ILS Convention on Leadership Summit. The theme is an extremely important and a very relevant one. The theme is all about how do we ignite a spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship across the length and breadth of our country. How do we inspire? Because it is not enough to ignite, but we also need to inspire the many, many thousands and millions of young students who form the demographic dividend of our country and which is the envy of the rest of the world. And we also need to engage and implement, because it's not good enough just to think about schemes, to dream about something and not be able to engage and implement whatever we have so that the mankind and humanity benefits from it. First and foremost, I'd also like to thank all the people who, before me who have just spoken, Prachi, Dr. Singh, Preeti, Bajaj. Thank you so much for your kind words. And also the distinguished speakers who are there to follow and from whom we are all going to learn so much more about what is the need for innovation, what is the need for entrepreneurship, what is the need to engage, what is the need to inspire and to ignite. I hope that all of you are safe and sound in these very difficult COVID-19 times. Indeed, the COVID-19 has been unprecedented. It has swiftly descended upon us, completely catching people and nations unawares. It has created grievous loss of lives and livelihoods. It has disrupted supply chains across the world and in various nations. It has created national lockdowns. All of us are experiencing that. And it has created a fear of uncertainty as to how long is this virus going to last. Are there other viruses out there which can be other global pandemics affecting us similarly? What about climate change, which has been talked about? We have not experienced the devastating effects of climate change yet, but there have been various hints about the same across the world. And what about other nationalistic fervors that will grip nations because of the COVID-19 crisis and prevent and create further disruption in supply chains, communication networks, the ability to engage? All of these are major, major challenges that we all have in front of us. And therefore, it is but fitting that we deliberate on all of these, because it is not just that we are awaiting the speedy resolution through a vaccine or some curative mechanism for COVID-19, but we have a post-COVID-19 world which has tremendous number of challenges that each of us are going to face. But at the same time, it is heartening to find that today, at this point in time, you and I are engaged because of digital transformations, because of the digital medium, to be able to deliberate and reflect on this with hundreds of people who have logged on to this call. Now, 10 years ago, one would not have thought this is possible. And technology, which is becoming available, affordable, accessible, and advanced, is creating a huge impact in giving us opportunities, in enabling us and being able to visualize new possibilities of how you can leverage technology, not only to address the current crisis, but also to live in a vibrant post-COVID-19 world. And I would like to go back to what the Honorable Prime Minister of India recently and very eloquently expressed: the need for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, an Atmanirbhar Bharat is all about a self-reliant India. And I think this is true for every nation across the world. They all need to bring a degree of self-reliance, and at the same time, they should become a source of great reliance to support nations across the world. A self-reliant country is not a selfish country, but a selfless country. A country that not only aspires to solve its problems and challenges that are facing in front of it, but also challenges and problems that the world faces and humanity faces. And any solution that we find in a 1.3 billion population of India is also a solution for the rest of the world. And therefore, India is occupying, I would say, a very important stage, center stage, in being able to address not only the challenge, but to convert the challenges into opportunities for innovation, for entrepreneurs, and for startups. Now, let me talk about the 5 pillars that the Honorable Prime Minister referred to during his talk. And I think if we focus on that, we have every reason not only to ignite, but also to inspire innovation and to engage in its implementation. First and foremost, he talked about the pillar of technology. Technology is rapidly changing everything, the way you are experiencing the world and the way the world is experiencing you. You're having 3D printing revolutionizing the way you can design, develop, conceptualize, and create a product right in front of your eyes. And you have 3D printers which can be leveraged for multiple purposes. You have IoT or Internet of Things technologies and sensor technologies, which is being embedded in man, machine, device, plant, soil, the space, so that you are able to get valuable data from various sources to be able to create and take very crucial decisions. You are having robotics changing the way automation is being done and driving the next level of productivity. You have augmented and virtual reality, which is making it possible for you to collaborate across thousands of miles, which is able to visualize new designs by teams working across the world. You are having 5G technologies, communication technologies, satellite technologies, which is increasing the speed of communication and the ability to transfer large volumes of data which are being generated by IoT technologies. It is enabling plant-to-plant communication, machine-to-machine communication. It is enabling data to be transmitted across countries from the satellite and imaging data to be processed at lightning speeds. You're having augmented virtual reality, like I mentioned, which can combine all of these technologies. And then you are having advances in computing technologies like supercomputing, cognitive computing, biocomputing, and nanocomputing technologies. You're now having software technologies which have advanced tremendously, so that you have big data and analytics and you have blockchain. And therefore, you are also having artificial intelligence occupying center stage. It is not that we didn't know about artificial intelligence several years earlier. Even when I was a student and I was studying in IIT Bombay and graduating in the 80s, we were talking about artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence has never made more sense than now. The ability to have a great convergence of advanced computing, communication, and sensor technologies, and to be able to process large volumes of data and identify new patterns, mine new information, and the ability to create new decision-making systems has become possible and is being done today. When we talk of robotics and we talk of IoT, you need the ability to process large amounts of data and to mimic the human intelligence for the benefit of humanity. And that is what technology is enabling all of us to do. And therefore, the pillar of technology becomes central. The pillar of science, the pillar of innovation, the pillar of being able to ignite entrepreneurship, leveraging technologies to solve our problems, has occupied center stage. We do need to ensure that we leverage technology for the other pillars. Now let's talk about the other pillars. What are the other pillars? The second pillar is the pillar of the demographic dividend. We are a country of 1.3 billion people. We have 1.4 million schools. We have 10,500 engineering and related institutions. We have 39,000 colleges. We have over 65% of our country under 35 years old. We have 150 million young students who are going to be entering into the workplace over the next 5 to 10 years. We have 51% of our population, or 50% plus of our population as women. And I'm tremendously happy that the women engineers have organized this particular conference, because we have only 13% of our entrepreneurs as women. 87% of our entrepreneurs are men. And there is a huge opportunity for the girl child, the girl student, and the women entrepreneur to be able to leverage technology, advanced, emerging, affordable, and accessible technology, not only for their own education, but to be able to become entrepreneurs leveraging the same. So it is very important for us to leverage this demographic dividend. This is the envy of many a country. Very few countries are in the sort of situation that we are. And if we do not empower our young people, our young students, our dynamic young people in the industry, in the universities, because they are going to be the architects of future India. They're going to be the architects of our dreams. They're going to be the architects of solutions that the world needs. They are going to ensure that the planet becomes a better planet for all of us to live in. They are the people who are going to ensure that the socio-economic divide, the digital divides, are going to be bridged because of their approach, because of their empathy, because of the technology that they can leverage. And that is why the Atal Innovation Mission has been seized with this particular problem. Over the last 3.5 years, we have been setting up thousands of adult tinkering labs at the school level. Now, why are we doing that? These adult tinkering labs are dedicated innovation workspaces in schools, where the latest of technologies like 3D printers, robotics, IoT devices, miniaturized electronics, augmented virtual reality, and through do-it-yourself kits are enabling young students to tinker with these technologies, to play with them in an atmosphere of fun and learning, and to be able to identify problems in and around the community that they live in, and to be able to solve the problems. It is creating a problem-solving, innovative mindset, which is the first thing that is needed if you want to become an innovative entrepreneurial country. You cannot imagine new entrepreneurs or innovations coming in if you do not have that innovative problem-solving mindset. Now, unfortunately, we all have grown, and I have also grown, in an academic environment where there has been tremendous emphasis on rote learning, on getting great marks and going into a good university, on getting good marks again and going into a university abroad, and getting good marks again and joining a job, whether it is in Google or IBM or TCS or Wipro or Infosys and so on. We have been very good so far in being academically very proficient. And we have created a large number of engineers and a large number of scientists and a large number of people in arts and commerce and various other disciplines. But we have created a nation of job seekers rather than job creators. Now, this has served us well, mind you, so far. We have, after all, created a $190 billion IT/ITES industry. And we have also been being recognized as the knowledge capital, potential knowledge capital of the world. Everywhere, Indians have shined wherever they have an ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship to which they have been able to avail themselves of. So you have a Satya Nadella heading Microsoft, a Sundar Pichai heading Google, you have an Arvind Krishna heading IBM, a Shantanu Narayan heading Adobe. You have many Indians leading various world-class universities in the United States and other parts of the world. You have some of our best engineers and doctors. We have great artists. We have great sculptors. We have philosophers. And we have all it takes in order to make a difference. However, we need to create that ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship in India, here, so that we have 1,000 Satya Nadellas and 1,000 Sundar Pichais and 1,000 Abdul Kalams blooming. You see, some of the greatest people that India has had, the greatest scientists, the greatest philosophers have not come necessarily from the metro cities. They have come from rural India. Abdul Kalam, one of the finest scientists the world has seen, came from this humble town of Rameshwaram, where you have a few schools, maybe a few universities or 1 or 2 universities. We have probably a few churches, a few mosques, We have hundreds of temples there, and that is what Rameshwaram is famous for. And we have thousands of fishing boats. But from such a place came one of the finest scientists that the world has seen. And how did that happen? It happened as he himself described in his book, Ignite India. He said, dream big and you'll achieve great things. Dream small and you'll be limited by your own dreams. And he dreamt big. When he was tinkering with the fishing boats in Rameshwaram, he dreamt about flying the aeroplane. He wanted to become a pilot. Of course, life took him on a different path, and he went on to become the missile scientist of the country. He rose on to become the president of the country. Now, that is the possibility that India has, irrespective of the location, the geography, irrespective of the gender. We have had great women scientists. Tessie Thomas now is considered as the first missile scientist, women missile scientist of India. Kalpana Chawla was the first to go in space. The president and the prime ministership of our country have been held by women. We have a tremendous amount of capability which is being expressed abroad. Indra Nui is now heading and is the president of one of the largest multinational organizations in the world, Pepsi. So our women, our men, our Indian people have been able to make an impact. But they have been able to make an impact, and this impact will multiply when we create that ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship right here in our country. And that is what the Atal Innovation Mission has set out to do. Because then we can leverage this demographic dividend through the pillar of technology, advanced, available, affordable, accessible technology, so that research and innovation and development can happen at an accelerated pace. We are very proud of the fact that India has already reached the global, broken into the global top 50 innovative countries. We leapt from a position of 81 in 2015 to a position of 48 in 2020. Just in 5 years, we leapt across 33 places in the innovation index. Now that's a tremendous achievement that every one of us can be very proud of. But with the youthful energy, with the tremendous demographic dividend that we have, with the capability and a rising economy, one of the fastest growing economies of the world, barring the COVID-19 crisis, we have that ability to convert this into a very powerful force and leap into the global top 10 of innovation and entrepreneurship. So it is very important to ignite and inspire and engage with young India so that they can become the architect of our dreams. The third pillar that the Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned is the pillar of infrastructure. We need to be able to create the right, advanced, and available and affordable infrastructure across the length and breadth of our country. That requires innovation. That requires entrepreneurship. Let me explain why. We have 600,000 villages in our country. We have over 8,000 small towns and cities. We have only 8 tier 1 cities. We have 715 districts in India, out of which 115 are aspirational districts, which are at the bottom of the pyramid in terms of access to healthcare, education, access to affordable housing, clean drinking water and sanitation, and waste management. We have still 1 in 5 maternal mortality, 1 in 4 infant stunting, 1 in 3 infant mortality in our aspirational districts. We need to be able to ensure that this pillar of infrastructure and available infrastructure, whether it is for education, whether it is for housing, whether it is for waste management or water management, whether it is for renewable energies, all of this is made available to the 600,000 plus villages in our country. And we also need to ensure that we leverage technology to extend and fill the gap where digital infrastructure can fill the gap. So it is not just the physical infrastructure that we need to develop, but we also need to leverage digital transformations and digital technology and extend the ability of somebody from Sikkim to make a sale in San Francisco, for somebody from Salem to be able to reach across to the markets of Seattle, because that is what digital technology enables you to do. And therefore, there is a tremendous need for innovation and entrepreneurship to be able to drive improvements in our infrastructure. whether it is physical infrastructure or digital infrastructure. We have a great opportunity, and that is why the Atal Innovation Mission is setting up hundreds of incubators, fostering thousands of startups. To date, India has more than 55,000 startups operating in India. We have close to 400 plus incubators, out of which, as was mentioned earlier, 100 of which have been selected from Atal Innovation Mission and 70 of them are operational. Just in the last 2.5 years that we have been associated with Atal Innovation Mission, that I have been associated, we have seen the birth of more than 1,500 startups across various states of our country. And what has been most pleasing is that more than 500 of them are women-led startups. Now that's more than 33 to 34% of the women-led of the startups being women-led startups over the last few years. And that is a fantastic observation. And that is a fantastic achievement. We are aspiring that we want 50% plus women entrepreneurs because they have all the ability to be able to rise and create very successful startups and successful entrepreneurship initiatives across India. We also need to ensure that the MSME industry thrives and is vibrant in terms of innovation and make in India possibilities. You see, 70% of our people are engaged in the informal economy generated by the MSME industry. However, only 29% of our GDP is today coming from the MSME industry. The Honorable Minister Gadkari ji said that we should aspire to be a 50% GDP from MSME industry. And towards this end, Atal Innovation Mission has launched several challenges along with ministries in order to create solutions and innovations by the MSME industry and for the MSME industry. These challenges are called ARISE challenges, Applied Research and Innovation for Small Enterprises. And we are ensuring that MSME applicants and startup applicants or individual innovators who can partner with these applicants are able to create solutions that India needs. These solutions will spur and trigger and accelerate the growth of the MSME industry. And the growth of the MSME industry is extraordinarily important for the growth of a nation because it enables uniform development across the country. It enables to create thousands of hubs of innovation and job creation. We want 1,000 smart cities. We want our 600,000 villages to be smart villages. We want to create an atmosphere of innovation and entrepreneurship that enables rural markets to flourish. And like I said, to be able to reach the global markets because of digital connectivity. The fourth pillar that the Honorable Prime Minister has talked about is the pillar of demand. We are a country of 1.3 billion people. When we have 1.3 billion people, the demand is enormous. We are a country also of different types of geographies and demography. We have hilly districts, we have coastal districts, we have 32 states, 7 union territories. We have number of people who are working from different parts of the country and who have different needs. We need to ensure that this pillar of demand is enabled and creates startups who can fulfill the demand. We don't need to look elsewhere in the rest of the world in order to fulfill this demand. All the demand is here, and that is why you have many, many countries flocking to India to address this burgeoning market. A 1.3 billion people market is not a small market to be playing with. And we have tremendous opportunities for our startups to be able to convert the challenges into opportunities. We are a country of 1 billion people with 1 million challenges. But 1 million challenges represent 1 million opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities for young, innovative, energetic startups to conceive solutions for. Look at the need that we have, whether it is in precision agriculture, whether it is in water management, whether it is in renewable energies or solar energies, whether it is in forest management, whether it is in climate change related solutions that are required in the city of Delhi, for example, to stop the pollution, whether it is electric vehicles, which can reduce emissions, whether it is biotech technologies, which can create new solutions. And when we combine artificial intelligence, blockchain, sensor technologies, advanced computing and communication technologies to solve the problems, the opportunities are endless. And therefore, my dear young students who are out there listening to this is your time. This is your opportunity. We are at a cusp in history. Never before has it been such a favorable situation for India to be able to tap into and address these opportunities and also create solutions for the global market. The Honorable Prime Minister said we should be vocal for local so that we could go global. Because any solution that you find here and create here is a solution for the rest of the world. The fifth pillar that the Honorable Prime Minister referred to was the pillar of socio-economic progress. Now, this is extraordinarily important. We still have 22% of our country below the poverty line. We have 44% of our country agri-economy based. And like I mentioned earlier, we have 115 of our 715 districts as aspirational districts, which are requiring tremendous advances in healthcare, education, transportation, water management, energy management, waste management, sanitation, and so on. We need to ensure that technology can be leveraged to bridge this social divide. Technology should not create further digital divides. In fact, it should solve these problems. You have to leverage technology to solve the problems that technology can create. There has been a lot of fear that whether artificial intelligence can create more issues than solve more problems. I am very optimistic that artificial intelligence will be a great power for social good. It all depends on how we use it. We need to ensure that artificial intelligence and all the technologies are leveraged with integrity, ethics, values, and social good in mind. And therefore, it is very important to encourage not just commercially driven innovation, but social innovation. At Atal Innovation Mission, we are setting up hundreds of community innovation centers called Atal Community Innovation Centers in rural India, in tier 2, tier 3 cities. These community innovation centers will not only ignite, but spur the creation of local community-driven innovation needs. The needs of a particular community in Sikkim or in Salem, the needs of a community in Jodhpur or in Jaipur are very different. And we need to be able to capitalize on the local demography, the local needs, the local capability and the local core competencies, the local industries to create new innovations that can spur new job creation in that and around that community. That way, we will have all the 600,000 villages across our country, the 8,000 small towns and cities, all becoming vibrant hubs of innovation and job creation. Why is it that we cannot imagine that the traditional products from our tribal districts, the art, the culture, the paintings, the artifacts, all of that find a global market? When I go to any parts of anywhere in the world, they do so much about their local handicrafts and local crafts and local art. We, over 5,000 years, one of the most ancient civilizations that has been present in this planet, we have innovation in our DNA. We have art and sculpting and craft in our DNA. Why do we not ensure that we find global expression of this capability and global products? India can be not only the biggest center for culture and heritage in the world because of its ancient civilization, because of its temples, because of its wonderful history and culture. We can also be one of the most advanced in science and technology and leverage that to promote culture and arts and heritage. Just yesterday, we launched between India and Russia a cultural exchange and innovation exchange platform for young students. We launched what is known as the AIM Series 3.0 Innovation Exchange Program, where 48 students from India and Russia will be joining together and creating innovations in culture, in spreading culture, in mobile application development, in sports, in fitness, in health and well-being, using cognitive technologies, using artificial intelligence technologies. That's the sort of enablement that we all should become part of. And in all of this, it is very important for public, private, academia, and industry sectors to collaborate with each other. Collaboration is the key. We need to ensure that we can give back to the society more than what we have got. Many of us are lucky to have had the benefits of great education and working for a great company. How can we give back to the society? To enable this, the Atal Innovation Mission has created a Mentors of Change network across the country. More than 10,000 mentors have registered voluntarily to be able to support its innovation entrepreneurship initiatives across the length and breadth of our country. The tinkering labs, the incubators, the startups, the community innovation centers, the Arise challenges or the Atal New India challenges. We need your participation and active participation because you've been there, you have done that. You have become a repository of valuable knowledge and best practices that need to be shared to the rest of the country. And therefore, becoming a part of the innovation movement across our country is very important. To all the people who are out here and who are sharing their knowledge and their best practices, this is the opportunity to give back in areas of your knowledge, in areas of your expertise, and in areas of your competency. And if we all work together along with global partnerships and corporate partnerships, we have more than 50 corporate partners supporting Atal Innovation Mission initiatives. That's wonderful. That has grown just in the last 2-3 years. We look forward to increased participation of the private sector, large corporates, individual mentors in this innovation and entrepreneurial journey that the country has launched itself in. There is a huge opportunity for every one of us to make a difference, to create an impact. As the great Steve Jobs said, we all should leave a ding in the universe. How do we leave a ding in the universe? By creating an impact that will not only be beneficial to you as a person or to your family, but to your society, to your nation, and to the world. And as the great Swami Vivekananda said, if you have belief in 1,000 gods and goddesses and do not have belief in yourself, you are doomed. I suggest and I encourage that we all have tremendous belief in ourselves. We have belief in ourselves that we can make a difference. Yes, we can, said Barack Obama, and he became the first Black president in the United States. Yes, we can, said Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and today they are the president-elect and the VP-elect of the country. So we should not let anything hold us back. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached, said the great Swami Vivekananda. So let us all arise to the challenges that we face. Let us awaken our innovative talent that we all possess. And let us not stop until the goal of an Atmanirbhar Bharat and a better world for all of us to live in becomes a reality. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share a few words on this particular occasion. All the very best. God bless, and please be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's so inspiring.
So we might, can we take a few more questions?
Sure. We'll be more than happy to take.
Yes.
Yes.
Please go on.
No, so Vamsi, just 1 second. Just wanted to say, sir, we have right now, when through Atal Tinkering Labs, you have spread so much across the country, wherein we are talking about 3D printing, IoT, and everything at school level. And there are still the institutions who, wherein engineering institutions I'm talking about, wherein we are exposing the students these technologies, maybe at the lateral part. Maybe in second year, third year, or final year that they will learn. And wherein this has become, minimum technologies which one should know whether you are in engineering or non-engineering. So that change of thought process has to come, at massive level, aggressively at all across. I mean, I've been the engineering director, the vice chancellor, so I always seen that change of thought process and academic reforms which you are doing through Atal incubation or Atal mission should not spread only for a limited group, but then all over. So trying my best. Thank you so much. It was so inspiring. Over to you, Vamsi.
Thank you. No,
Yes,
no, I totally agree with what you said, Preeti, and we need to ensure that the tools that are available today, upon which the solutions of tomorrow are being built, all of this should be accessible to our students in universities and colleges, and also in the industry. By the way, many people in the industry also don't have access to many of these technologies because everybody is focused on what they are doing. But the solutions are changing rapidly, and unless you are empowered with these tools and you are able to play with them and you are encouraged to innovate within a company, within a corporate, within the industry, within the school, and within the university, you will not be able to achieve whatever we want to achieve. And that
Very
it is very much possible. Yeah.
Very, very true, sir. I'm just trying that, yes, minimum technology, these things are minimum technology that should be known at least in the first year of engineering, so that, when they come across problem, they know all the tools which are available so that they can apply. So that, exposure at first year is very, very essential. So all inspiration, from you. Thank you. Over to you, Vamsi.
yes, sir. There is one question from Dr. Prachi. She said she recently registered her startup, Social Technology. She wanted to understand how more she can involve through Atal Innovation Mission and how can she be assigned to it.
So first and foremost, I would suggest that you should become a mentor of change, and there is a mentor of change application on the portal. You just have to apply it. We constantly keep allocating people to startups, incubators, and so on. So you become part of the movement. That is one part. Second is, as a startup, we organize many webinars where we showcase and great speakers who tell how you can improve, what you should do to become very successful, how can you become investable, and so on. So that is something that she can participate in. So all these are advertised through our Atal Innovation Mission website. Thirdly, I think that many startups have an incredible opportunity to showcase their solutions to us and see whether we can apply them in one of our community innovation centers and so on. And if a startup wants incubator support, they can approach one of our incubators across. All of the list of incubators are there on the website. And they can say that they can apply for becoming an incubatee and thereby avail themselves, even virtually. We encourage both physical startups and physical incubation and virtual incubation. So these are various ways in which you can become part of it.
Sir, for the record, I am the mentor of change for 2020 in Hyderabad. I'm mentor for 2 schools. So
Excellent.
yeah.
I'm very happy that you have become a mentor of change, and I think just spread the word and have more mentors of change, because it's such a delightful experience just to see the young minds getting shaped, and actually we learn a lot from them. I mean, I'm constantly amazed when I go and visit any of the Atal Tinkering Labs and see the students. I'm amazed at their capability and what they do, and I keep learning from them.
Yes. Sir, this is something as a personal question because the most of the audience who are watching us live are students and all. Given the pandemic-like situation, because maybe seniors like you have seen pandemics before, but this is something really new to all of us and all of the upcoming juniors. So, what is that when we call it as opportunities in distress? How should we make opportunities out of distress? Like, how should we be prepared in the future days?
Yeah. So, very good question, Vamsi. See, the important thing is always necessity is the mother of invention, they say, right? And while you said, I may have seen a pandemic before, I have also not seen a pandemic before. This is the first time most of us in our
Okay.
lifetimes are seeing a pandemic, right? But we have had health crisis. We have had examples like, swine flu and things like that. But no time in the world history has such a pandemic gripped uniformly across all the nations and created major issues. But herein also lies a silver lining. You look at the way technology is being used today for education purposes, for telemedicine, for the entire e-commerce industry has bloomed. And today, even though you are sitting at home, you are now able to order anything that you want, whether it is medicine, food supply, etc., etc. The service industry is growing tremendously. The industry for producing new goods and services, that is also happening. And what is happening is local innovation and local job creation can actually be spurred because of this pandemic. Because what has realized, people have realized, I mean, take the migrant workers. If you are not able to, if you are a country where the rest of the country flocks to 8 tier 1 cities, that's not a sustainable operation for any country. So the migrant workers have been put to tremendous risk because they come for their livelihoods to these few tier 1 cities. How do we convert our, create 200, 300 smart cities, and we create the other 4,000 to 8,000 cities as hubs of innovation job creation? Now, if you look at the basic thing is look at the problems that are there in and around the community. Is there an education problem? Is there a waste management problem? Is there a water management problem? Is there a renewable energy problem? And then see how you can leverage technology for solving these problems. And you can. In fact, you find amazing. That's how 55,000 startups have come up, because each of them has some idea about a problem and a gap that exists. So you have to identify the gap that exists. You have to create small teams. Don't try to think of the solution on your own. Get a team of 4 or 5 people who can work with you and build on that idea. And robotics can be used, AI can be used, so many things can be used for health, wellness, industry, precision agriculture, using satellite technologies, and so on. So the opportunities are endless, and you just have to. And I would suggest that just get familiar with what is going on in the innovation landscape of India. You will realize the opportunity.
Sir, I have one more question, but before that, I want to take this question from Sneha. This must be a question to you at many places and many times. What is the right time to start a startup? Because Sneha says that she's planning to start one, but is it a right time now, as in a situation like pandemic, or is there something called a right time to start a startup?
The right time to start up is whenever you have a good idea that you have worked out for yourself, and you have created a prototype, and you have tested that prototype slightly with a customer base. When you have done all of that, because very often people will, you cannot start a startup and then think about what is the problem I have to solve. If you look at the word startup, that itself is the S stands for a solution. Do you have a solution for a problem that you see, and that solution does not exist in the marketplace, or a solution exists but is not so good? There are many gaps in that solution. So first, the startup comes up with a solution that you have not only conceived, but you have gone to the next stage of creating a prototype of innovation of the solution. The second is you have to use the right technologies so that you're, I mean, because we are living in a technology driven world. And therefore, the T stands for the technology. The A stands for agility. Are you having agility? And agility comes with action plans. If you don't have an action plan for your startup, so think about all of this. When you're going to start a startup, do I have a clear action plan for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4? Okay, how do I make myself sustainable? What is going to be my source of funding? What is going to be my roadmap for my technology? Who are going to be my partners? When will I run out of money? And how do I ensure that investment, I become investable? That all happens with an action plan. And that action plan has to be a very mobile, real-time, dynamic action plan that gets modified based on what you are seeing happening. So that means you should have a strong measurement system for yourself. The R stands for re-engineering. You're not going to come up with a product which will immediately work in the market. It never happens. You look at the iPhone, the number of changes it has happened, the number of reiterations it has gone through. So you'll have to constantly re-engineer and reiterate the product before it becomes something that the market will want to acquire and buy. And the T stands for team. Have a great team. Surround yourself with people. 3 or 4 people is enough to start off with. Don't have 100 people that you are not able to sustain, right? But you should complement your skills. You may be technologically very good, or you may not be good in technology, you may be good in design, but you need somebody from technology, you need somebody from finance, you need somebody from communication, to represent your product well to the investors, potential investors, and so on. And then you have to have uniqueness. The U stands for uniqueness. Do you have a unique, distinguishing, differentiating factor in your startup as compared to somebody else? It is not important that you are creating completely a new startup with a new idea. You may see something exist. You may see a sanitizer existing in the market, but you're saying, hey, I have a unique solution for this sanitizer. I'm able to drive down the cost and ensure better quality. So that uniqueness should come in your solution. It should also come in your approach to the market. Do you have a unique approach to the market? How do you capture the market? And finally, the P stands for persistence. Be very persistent. Startups world, as Abdul Kalam said, there is no word called failure. It is fail is the first attempt in learning. So make sure that you always have this attitude that either you succeed or it is a first attempt in learning. And it's only through great persistence that startups succeed. So all of these are important. Look at all of this. You will know when your startup has to start. The pandemic time is one of the best times to think of starting a startup because the opportunity is there. A great idea finds backers, and I'm sure it will.
So just reiterating from the words when we met last time for an India Council webinar. So you have suggested us that at a council level, we have to start something about the innovations and all on behalf of IEEE as a community on India Council and region. And we had so many such competitions laid forward and many students applied and many of these ideas were rewarded to come into a prototype model. So thank you for that. I have one last question. I'm really not, I'm sorry that I'm not taking much of your time. One last question is that, sir, when we speak of technology, when we speak of improvement in upgrading or whatever it is, we speak only about Silicon Valley. But when we started with Niti Aayog and Atal Innovation Mission coming in, everybody started speaking about India. Okay, the next destination is India. So what are your thoughts? How soon are we getting there and what is our way forward to that?
No, I think we are very much on our course to become one of the most innovative nations of the world. India will become one of the most innovative nations of the world. It is already becoming, it is proving itself. You see, after all, a nation becomes innovative when its people are innovative. And Indians are doing well everywhere, wherever they get a chance, wherever they are able to prove themselves, wherever they get the ecosystem. And today we are all involved in creating that ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship in India, where young minds who want, if you have had a good education, 10 years, when I was growing up, when I was graduating from IIT, we didn't talk about startups at all. Nobody talked about startups. Nobody talked about innovation. We are all looking for the first job that we can join, right? I got an offer from TCS. I got an offer from CMC 4 months later, but I joined TCS because I got the offer first. And then CMC was a government organization at that time. TCS was a private sector organization. Today, I've had, as luck would have it, I've worked both for TCS for more than 30 years. And then I led CMC for 15 years as the managing director and CEO because it was acquired by TCS. And today I'm with the government. But today, I would say all the youngsters who are out there, you have the opportunity to create your own company. You have that opportunity. You have a rising economy, you have venture capital which is coming, people are willing to invest in good ideas. So if you have had a great academic background, if you have the desire for innovation and you want to give it a shot, no time like now to give it a shot. I think India will become one of the most innovative nations in the world. I'm confident about it. We have the wherewithal, we have the energy, we have the passion, and we have the people. And nothing is impossible for our people. So I'm sure we will do ourselves.
I just received one last question. I was there in one of the panel where Nitin Gadkari was speaking about MSMEs building the nation and all. So I have a similar question that how can MSME can be financially able to set up into a new startup in Atal Innovation Mission and how MSMEs can create a path in the way forward. And
So
this would be the last question.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very important question. The MSME industry is crucial for the nation's growth, welfare, well-being. It is important that the MSME industry gets a great boost. And the Honorable Minister has been very, very supportive of Atal Innovation Mission initiatives. In fact, he was present during the launch of the ARISE Challenge, the Applied Research and Innovation for Small Enterprises challenge, which we launched. We launched 15 challenges with 5 ministries: the Ministry of Text, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Food Processing, Ministry of Urban Housing and Development, with ISRO, and with Defense. And he was present throughout the call. And it was amazing to see his tremendous support, the support of all the ministries for the MSME industry. I think there is a huge opportunity for the MSME industry to leverage the initiatives that the government has launched. Also, the government has launched special packages, a 20 lakh package for boosting the MSME as well as the startup industry. So the government is seized with that, and I am sure all of this will have tremendous positive impact.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, Preeti ma'am, before I would let you go, I just have one thing from my side. Please accept this as a token of gratitude from our end on coming on a Sunday morning, being with us and sharing all your feedback to our young brigade who has been listening to you on different platforms and channels to you. So kind of you to be here and sparing your time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to continuing the dialogues with you and your team.
Yes, sir. Very soon I'll get back to you for all how we can work under you and mentor many, many more. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sir, before one group picture with all the members.
Everybody can request it to switch on their videos, please.
Please send me the memento sometime so that I can frame it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amoli,
definitely.
Singh, sir. Yes, sir. Arvind, Ranjit, if you can switch on your videos. Zundam, Abir, Ashish.
Okay, I got one. Just one more. Yes, got one. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Great talk by him. You are mute, Vamsi. Great talk.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, I think we have some bandwidth now. You can proceed ahead to share your views so far, how this summit is going so
far. So you wanted me to speak?
Yes, please. Because I'm sorry, I haven't given you a chance in the starting.
No, not an issue. But so Rajeev has also joined. But I would say the one person who has been involved since beginning of this summit and who has also not been given chance, although he was into panel, but then the panel was, was full of female candidates yesterday. I would like Arvind, one of my good friend and with whom we have come up with a Nagpur subsection. If he can share his views, would be great. It's been journey of 3 years, 4 years, and how he's feeling to be part of this summit and how the summit is going on. Arvind, over to you if you can spare few minutes.
Oh, so what a surprise.
Thank you.
No, but I have attended and since beginning, right from the 6th onward, the inaugural session, and as well as yesterday, the whole day, I got an opportunity to hear all the speakers and panelists, and today as well, Ramanan. So Ramanan, it was the first time that I was hearing him, even though I used to admire him because he was a long time TCSer, and we used to hear that yes, so and so that he has done, and then later on he went on to join head the CMC Limited, which TCS had acquired, and then definitely went on to join the government. So and wonderful sessions by all. In fact, I would say that I wonder that how many power speakers that were there in these whole 3 days, right? Just look at that, right? How many power speakers that were there, and and the collective wisdom, collective knowledge, collective energy, collective enthusiasms that got generated in these 3 days is immense. And thanks, and I would say that big congratulations to all the people who have been involved for the last so many months. And I would not like
including you, because it started all with you.
so many, and wonderfully organized, and I didn't even find any glitch in any of that, and we were able to finish all the sessions on time, almost on time, right? So that is one of the wonderful achievement, because it is important that the people are joining in, people are uh, attending it, speaking it, but it is ensuring that everything is finishing on time, and that is a wonderful achievement for any of the organization, as well as actually to the speakers. So overall, uh, thumbs up, not one thumbs up, probably 5 thumbs up to this speaker.
Okay, thank you, Arvind, and thank you being so supportive. When the thought came to have this theme, as Vamsi has said, so I could take 2 names for the final implementation. Everybody has joined, but Vamsi has put in that you can say the moment we took Vamsi on team, so the aggressiveness which we could find, so Amoli could speed up her operation. So Amoli and Vamsi has done wonderful job, and then at 11th hour we could have, the team was growing. So Ravi has joined, Prachi, Pooja, Manoj. I mean, and then n number of student volunteers, and then the team is really big to name everyone. Last time I have missed Manogana, I remember, so I wanted to take her name as well. But right now we have Rajeev as well. I have listened to Rajeev a couple of years back. It was 5-6 years back. Twice he had been to Nagpur, Raisoni, and wonderful initiative of social enterprise. I still remember his one dialogue which he said that time, that yes, I'm earning out of shit. That was the last one when he came to Nagpur a couple of years back, 2012 or 13, and then second time 2017 or 18. So I think, Vamsi, we are now in the scheduled time, so we can take up Rajiv's talk immediately. Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Rajeev Kher. To everyone, so we had a very energetic start in the very morning. We have when we had Dr. Ramanan speaking to us, sharing about how Niti Aayog on whole looks together as a country all together. With no much delays, we are moving to the second keynote of our Engage and Ignite track with the titled Problems Are Opportunities. And we have Mr. Rajeev Kher, who is the founder of the Shramik and Saraplat Private Limited. A brief bio of Mr. Rajeev is that he's a founder, and his passion for better sanitation led him to create India's very first sanitation impact and liquid waste management company back in 1999, with his mission to provide sanitation for the unserved people of India. Pioneering the effort and perseverance has become a revolutionary impact in enterprise with phenomenal social businesses. He serves on the board of Saraplat, Shramik, Quiscolis, Portable Sanitation Association of India, Toilet Board Coalition of Geneva, and he was awarded the Entrepreneur of the Year of G20 committees, and he's one of the 50 most impactful innovators of 2016 on the World CSI Day. Mr. Rajeev Kher, thank you for joining us on a Sunday morning. Appreciate all your time and support to us, all yours.
Thank you, Vamsi, and Leadership Summit. And I have very fond with Preeti Bajaj in while she was at Raisoni. And I think it was that interaction that led us to be friends, and also this connection and relationship that we have developed over the years. So thank you, Preeti ji, for remembering me and also for inviting me over here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I would like to actually start by by congratulating all. I was just listening to the last few minutes while you guys were speaking, but it appears you guys have had a very spectacular last 3 days and have done some really work and some interesting speakers and added a lot of value to the students and also to the listening to these parts and these interviews, etc. So really done, and congratulations to the organizing committee and of course the dynamic leader Preeti Bajaj. So great work, guys. I am a very small part of the very large system that we are in, and my chosen subject is problems are opportunities to talk to you about. And as you can well see that one of the biggest problems that we faced in India was poor sanitation and the lack of proper toilets. And just to give you a brief of my background, I used to be interning working in a company in North America, and I happened to stumble upon these portable toilets, and the idea of sanitation came to me from there. And it actually came, when I was on one of my trips back home, and everybody complaining about the problem and saying, "Oh, it's smelling, it's dirty." And one fine day, I decided I just wanted to roll up my sleeves and do something about this problem. And that's when I entered this space of providing sanitation and portable sanitation to the unserved settlements in India. What started as a very small venture with just 2 toilets and lots of passion and conviction has led us to be today one of the leading sanitation impact enterprises in India, providing relief to millions of users all over the country, and a solution, of course, post Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which was initiated by Honorable Prime Minister in 2014, has become one of the largest movements, so to speak, in this country. Uh, Saraplat and 3S has been an integral part of this momentum, and we have assisted and worked on several initiatives and providing quality sanitation and quality solutions to various parts of urban and rural India. One of the biggest events, which is the Pandharpur Alandi Wari, and also the Kumbh Mela, which hosts millions of visitors. And the magnitude of work involves not only providing toilets but also the collection, disposal, and treatment of all this waste that is being collected. We are proud that we've been associated and have been invested by private equity companies in India and also out of India. And now we are growing at a very rapid rate to scale our solution in sanitation, but smart sanitation, treatment, and also innovative solutions, providing public sanitation as well as sanitation for the women in India with solutions which are very unique, very innovative. And we came out with a solution called the T, and has been an award-winning. Am I audible?
Yes,
No,
sir.
Mr. Rajiv, actually, there is a bandwidth issue. Maybe you want to turn off your camera or.
Okay, maybe I'll just my camera, and then if you can't hear me, somebody can just tell me that you can't hear me.
Sure, sure.
Okay, is this better now?
Yeah, very better.
Okay, great. So, so yes, as I was mentioning, today we are providing solution to all of pretty much entire urban and rural India, providing quality sanitation solutions. I think somebody's I can hear a lot of background, so if you can probably.
Okay, I would request all the panelists to keep your mics on mute, please.
And Vamsi, if you have a problem listening to me, just butt in the middle and say you can't hear me.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. So Saraplat has been providing quality solutions. We work very closely with several municipalities, state governments, and also corporate entities all over the country. And the agenda is to provide sanitation and a solution which is sustainable and which can we can engage people and increase the livelihood of people, and of course improve the lives and impact the lives of people in India. So as I was mentioning, that it is a very tough space with not many entry barriers really to be with, but the biggest problem is the stigma, and that itself was where we found that yes, this is a big problem. Sanitation is a problem. Toilets are not sufficient. And within that, we found that this was an opportunity. And we decided, and together with my team, I got into this business to provide relief to thousands and millions of people in this country by providing quality sanitation. So, what started off merely as portable toilets today has now become a very viable business option. It has multiple branches all over the country. We have over 250, 300 people working in the company, and we are now, have investment from a large corporate group as well, and we are growing at a very rapid scale to provide sanitation solutions to India. My tryst with business and tryst with this whole concept mainly came from my education, which I did in Pune during my MBA days in Symbiosis, and the confidence that I built over a period of time was mainly because of all the presentations and all the work that I had done over those 2 years, and it really enabled me and equipped me to do a great job and inspiring people and becoming bold enough. A person who never spoke much, and never did any public appearances. Today, I have been speaking to thousands of people at various forums all over the world. And I think this confidence comes from not only the subject matter, subject matter specialty, but also from the fact that the confidence and the knowledge, as well as the confidence that your teachers and your people at your institute have given you. So my humble request to all the students listening to this is that okay, focus on your presentations. Make sure that you do a good job out of it. Trust me that they will only be beneficial and they will take you a very long way. As a part of my work, I have also been involved in projects which are related to smart sanitation and related to using IoTs. And one of the interesting innovative techniques that we've used is we stumbled upon the European Space Agency that had developed a toilet for space. And along with my association with the Toilet Board Coalition, we engaged with European Space Agency to get support from them to help us and help the Toilet Board really come out with some solutions that have been used in space. So use smart technology maybe for the public of the normal public on Earth to really use sanitation, because the astronauts, when they are in space, the only way you can measure their health is through certain through their secretions. And we realized that a lot of technology has been done and a lot of money has been invested in that. Now, if the same thing is used at scale, we might be able to do the same for people who visit our toilets. So the next step is for our company is not only toilets, but is also to move preventative health. And just imagine that you go to a toilet and you use the restroom, and when you come out, you get you get three results. One is whether chances of whether you have UTI, whether you have sugar, or you can get a pregnancy test done. All three in one for a small fee of maybe 5 or 10 rupees. This is what the company has been working on, and this is the next step going forward towards smart sanitation and IoT and collection of data, etc. So we've been doing a lot of innovation. We've been doing a lot of intervention in the way we look at sanitation, and have engaged in doing a lot of changes. People look at sanitation as a whole. For example, we when we say sweepers or cleaners, we refer to them as service technicians or health workers, because these are the people who are going to make sure that the toilets are clean. We make sure that the technology we use or the automation we use is that the people do not have any contact with waste whatsoever. Everything is automated. They use jet sprays, they use high quality pressure machines, etc. And the next step that we are taking now is that along with the Dicky, which is the Dalit Chamber of Commerce in India, we have tied up with them to form 10,000 sanipreneurs, so 10,000 sanitation entrepreneurs pan-India, which means that in the next 5 years, there will be 10,000 youth that see this problem as an opportunity and convert it into a business proposition by engaging in activities related to the sanitation economy. The sanitation economy, or the circular sanitation economy in India, is worth $60 billion. It is an untapped space which none of the large corporates have really looked into, and a space which has merely been neglected because of the stigma that sanitation and waste carry. Our company is been a pioneer and is going to spearhead this revolution along with Dicky and several other organizations we work with to indulge and really inculcate the sense of getting into this as a business and create a sector or an industry for sanitation, so to speak. We have collaborated with multiple organizations, and we believe that this would be the future of sanitation, and it will not be something that will be looked down upon, an activity which will give pride, which will give a lot of dynamism to people, and also become leaders in almost a space which has been neglected for centuries in this country. We believe that thanks to the vision of the Prime Minister, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has given an impetus to this movement, and a movement which was started by us long time ago in our country, has now gained more awareness, has gained a lot more visibility, and we believe it will change the future of our country. A big problem which is converted into an opportunity would now be a solution, would now be an alternative for many young students such as yourselves, and also people who've been in corporate world might want to take this up as a business, might want to take it up as an idea to create this into some kind of an enterprise, whether it is toilets, whether it is the toilet resources or the waste resources, the energy that comes out of it, or the biogas that comes out of. There are just several alternatives that would be a part of this toilet and sanitation economy. We're proud to be the pioneers in this space. We're happy that we're recognized as the leaders, we're recognized as the harbingers of the sanitation and toilet movement in India. And we're also we're extremely delighted to be awarded several accolades and awards, which not only do they give us a certain amount of happiness, but a great amount of pride that this industry or this sector is now being really, really rewarded for the work that we do, and the efforts that we are taking to change the reputation, to change the concept, or even so to speak, the country has had a certain amount of negativity which we have enabled to change. And we're proud of the fact that sanitation is no longer a word that is looked down upon. And we believe that this, in due course of time, will become a very recognized and very solid sector, which even like I love to say this, and a lot of people say that when they ask me whether you're in the IT sector, when they hear me speak, many people ask me, are you in the IT sector? And I say, no, I'm in the SHIT sector. And I believe that there will be a huge revolution in the SHIT sector towards changing the lives of people, towards creating an impact in business, towards creating an economy, and towards creating business opportunity, as well as a large amount of research and a circular sanitation economy being created here in India itself. I am open to question and answers. I do not wish to blow my own trumpet more than this, because I think the work that we do itself is quite inspiring, is quite intriguing, and I would be happy to take questions from all of you. So thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be a part.
Thank you, Mr. Rajiv, and I'm sure this is definitely something everybody at this point of time needs to really know it, and something that really is booming right now. So I have many such questions to ask before I first of all, I would let Preeti ma'am to take over, and after that I'll post my question. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Vamsi. Thank you, Rajiv. As usual, it's always been inspiring. So, my few questions. So, the project which you have taken, she is still going on. In how many cities?
Yes. So we are we are pan India. We are in Maharashtra, we are in Telangana, we are in Bhubaneswar, we are expanding in Punjab. I think the concept is taking momentum, and we now have even a franchisee model that's available for young people to start with a mere investment of about 15 lakh of rupees, with a break even in less than 12 to 15 months. A business which can be run by many people to start maybe a little tuck shop on the T-bus along for sanitary napkin dispensing, disposal. It's an enterprise model or a little shop that we are creating around this. I believe that whether it's a Starbucks or whether it's a McDonald's, we stop at Starbucks or a McDonald's most of the times to go to the clean restroom that they have, and eventually come out having a coffee or a burger or whatever. And if we want to bring the same concept to people on the streets of this country, where we can provide the same level of hygiene, same level of cleanliness, and revolutionize the concept of toilets. And instead of saying that you have a Starbucks and you have a toilet inside that, we want to say there's a toilet and then there's a cafe inside that. So that's something we want to revolutionize.
So Rajeev, thank you. Do you have a video of that which you can show it to your audience over there? That was a beautiful concept which I really wanted people to know how you have started with Pune and then grow slowly. You have into Hyderabad and Indore and other part of the country as well.
Yeah, so I think I might be able to show the video. I will ask my assistant to just put it on for me, and maybe she can send it to Vamsi, and he can play it.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great. So I think that was really a good moment. So now over to you, Vamsi, because I wanted to see, I've seen him, his enterprises, so people to ask him questions, because so over to you.
Yes, Mr. Rajeev. Yeah, I think. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. By the time I received that, yeah. So yeah, see, this is one of the most outspoken reality that the biggest problems that unless a film like Padman came and people started speaking about sanitary napkins, okay, people were not aware that this is a problem that we need to solve. And in the same such a country like with the second largest population in the world, we have something we have to look at sanitation. And for all good reasons, we should thank COVID that people were like, okay, at least now we have to be careful and we have to keep ourselves sanitized. So when you started this, what were your challenges? I mean, how did it all start together? I mean, this is something really important, but nobody really wants to take this up. But what are your 2 cents of advice that why should people think on these lines as well?
So, I think the biggest challenges have always been access to capital and access to good talent. And the reason for both is the same, which is the inability for the bankers or the financiers to really understand the large potential that sanitation has on the lives of people. For example, $1 invested in sanitation will give you an $8 return on the investment. So this ROI of 1:8 is not understood by too many, and they think it's just it's a figment of imagination. But this is a WHO, and this is a studied and researched number that I'm speaking of. Now, talking about the barrier to entry for these businesses. Not see, like many people who do the MBA. Tell me one person who says, you know what, I aspire to start a sanitation business. Nobody would say that. Because it's not really on the wish list of people. It's not a glamorous sort of a subject. People want to join maybe a Citibank. They want to join all these various organizations. They don't want to join a toilet company. I'll give you a small quick story that I always like to tell. When I started, initially I put up an ad in the newspaper that a leading toilet company wants so and so people for their organization. I did not even get one single person willing to work for it. I spoke to my friend in the US and I said, look, this is a problem I have and what should I do? So he said, hey, why don't you just change the language and say required for a leading sanitation and waste management company? That I had almost 300 applications for the same position. So it's really how you position and how you market yourself. You have to market yourself in the right way. And over a period of time, I learned that, you have to position to see is very sexy. the problems are never sexy. Problems are always a problem, and you have to make them glamorous. You have to make them seem that people can change the problem and make it into an opportunity, and that's where our organization comes from.
And so here comes my second question. Okay, so let's say you started now, like you're in multiple cities right now and all.
Yeah.
Did COVID give an opportunity to expand it beyond your horizons or beyond your roadmap already? Or
Yes,
is it
actually.
already in the pipeline? Did something change for you when COVID has hit us?
So a lot of things changed with COVID. I mean, the biggest thing that happened with COVID was in our company, we provide solutions for mega events, for large gatherings. To begin with, on the negative side, on the loss side, we lost a lot of business. We lost a lot of large organizations which do large festivals and large events of people, poor people coming together. For example, the Pandharpur Anandi Wari, all the Varkari Sampradaya pan Maharashtra comes and walks from Anandi to Pandharpur, a distance of about 200 odd kilometers. And that for us is one of the biggest events we provide sanitation to. It didn't happen this year, right? It was a big loss. It was a big loss for the company. But we are a very innovative and creative lot of people, and internally we got around this problem, and we believed that we would focus on infrastructure and provide better solutions maybe for the for the highways, for the construction sites, and we focused our attention on providing work at that end. Not only that, we also got around making business solutions and created small franchising options for internally people who are not very happy with salaries, wanted more money. We gave them business opportunities to start small businesses in their villages, in their towns, to become sanitation entrepreneurs. So to provide septage management, fecal sludge management, we also came up with an app called Honeysucker. Ideally, I wanted to call it Suber because it is like an aggregator app for septage vehicles like Uber is. But I thought I'll get sued by Uber, so I decided not to call it Suber, and we called it Honeysucker. So if you go on iOS or on Android, you will see this app called Honeysucker, which basically aggregates septage management and all the septic trucks of the area together to get avail of a service for the common man at the lowest possible price. So we
Okay.
innovated with an app. We innovated with, and not only do we innovate, we actually showed a proof of concept and made it viable for it to generate or have a revenue model to monetize it. That is the key.
Considering this as a real-time issue and so many people trying to solve it, I'm hoping I'm allowed to ask this question. So where do you position yourself in the market at the moment with your competitors?
No, I think we are market leaders in the market with a very large margin, so to speak. Because I think what sets us apart from our competitors, and let me tell you, I am not worried or scared of competition because competition is complementary. Competition enables me to become better. It enables me not to be lethargic, not to be complacent, and for me to pull up my socks and ensure that my services and my prices are better than anyone else's. So, for example, if my competition is charging, let's say, 100 rupees, I will charge 150 because I want to be the top. I want to be the best quality provider, and I'm not worried about the price point because I'm guaranteeing my quality and my service will be better than my competition. So if my competition raises its price to 100, I'd make it 120, 150. So competition is not something that one needs to worry about, although we must not neglect. In fact, we should observe what the competition is to make sure that we are above, working in conjunction or even better than the competition to grow and scale. Because as you grow, you tend to become lethargic, you tend to become complacent, and that's something which we don't want.
That's something really great piece of kind of it. What do we call, the crediting of how you look at a competitor and how we have to be the best in the market and all. So I have received your video. Just to confirm me if the voice is being played. Is the audio coming in?
No, there's no audio.
No audio.
Just a minute. I'll just change my audio settings. Just give me a minute. Internal speakers.
Hi Rajiv. Meanwhile, Vamsi play the video. Ravi here this side. One more question to you is like, if we see the sanitation, so it's considered as a public service. So how do you keep the balance between the business part and the public service part of it?
See, I believe that every activity that one does, if it generates a profit, profit is not a bad word, and there is no really. It doesn't mean that doing business is not social. If that profit can generate more scale and enables me not to go with a begging bowl asking for funds and asking for money from various charities, it's better that I create a sustainable profitable model than a model which might involve me constantly seeking funds and not focusing on my actually core business, which is providing sanitation solutions. So I believe that a profit model is always a beneficial model. It also motivates, and it enables the other person to grow and to use that money and redeploy it to scale and solve a bigger problem.
Okay, so I'm just trying to play the video. Is there an audio?
No.
Now?
As a woman, finding a public
yes.
toilet is easy. As a woman, finding a public toilet isn't easy. Finding a clean one, even more so. The on-the-go women of today deserve the on-the-go sanitation services. And bringing this gap one toilet at a time is the T-Bus, toilet integration hub that provides women with safe, comfortable, and hygienic private spaces which they can access anywhere. So if there's an urgent sanitary need, look out for a refurbished bus with a smiling female attendant next to it. It's pink, so you won't miss it. And don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Come visit us at DAY.
Wow. I should say that. It's wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. I was not aware of this. There was something of this one. But yeah, I learned. Thanks for letting us know.
One small question from me as well, Rajiv sir. Actually, I have used this at the Indore Khau Galli. I think it is there at Indore Khau Galli, right? So my one biggest question that even though this is very good facility for all of us, it is not available publicly for many places. What might be the reason? Because we need such kind of things in every near about public place.
Ma'am, thank you for your question. So basically, Indore and these people, they have taken, we have supplied them a lot of information. And although we do not run the bus in Indore, we have given them the design. They've taken a lot of ideas from us. The reason why it doesn't happen is because there is a large capex that is involved in this. And that initially the capex came from CSR. And then it became a sustainable business model by way of a micro entrepreneur running the bus. That was the whole idea. But the initial capex needs to come from CSR. It needs to come from a fund or some kind of a long-term debt facility that the entrepreneur should get. And this is exactly what we're trying to do with the new that we have with Dicky, is that we're trying to get funds from maybe an SBI or similar bank for them to give a long-term funding like you have for a home loan, which they might be able to fund for about 20-30 years and collect the money over a longer period of time at a lower interest rate for the infrastructure side of things, and then provide a working capital for the micro entrepreneur on the front side, which is on the operating side, to run maybe a little beauty salon for women or a little shop for women or even a nail spa or something like that, something which women can come and we're also trying to do something similar, which is to create small lounges. So, like you have at the airport. So only at the airport people take flights, but there are so many people who are in the city that want to go from one place to another, might want to stay and stop without having to eat something and without having to really spend excessive amount of money. So if they just want to sit down and do small things.
No, Mr. Rajeev, we are actually losing you again.
Yeah. So looking at creating one space for a restroom. a place for them to just sit and be by themselves and relax. That's really the idea. And provide a clean toilet if they have to use one, and not be worried about holding it and have a problem in multiple health problems, and really create a solution for women in this country.
Thank you
So-
so much, sir, for this great creativity and idea, because really in a crowded place, it is very difficult for a woman or even everybody. So thank you very much for a wonderful idea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajiv. I mean, this is really great day, at least for me, because I started with two big keynotes and knowing two different things altogether. Please accept these as a token of gratitude from us at IEEE WIE International Leadership Summit. Thank you so much for taking your time on a Sunday morning and joining us and sharing your wisdom and your scope of work to all of us. Thank you so much. Can I request all of you to please switch on your cameras once? So we'll take a group picture, and in the meantime, I would request Manoj sir to share the presenter rights to Amoli ma'am. Request everybody to switch on their cameras, please. Yes, I'm just waiting for a few more cameras to switch on. Just give me one more minute. Yes. Thank you. Got it. Okay,
Thank you.
I see Ashish sir as well. Yes.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you so much.
I got it.
Hope
Thank
you
you.
are good. Now you are good.
So,
Thank you, ma'am.
the audio is.
Yeah. Thank you so